Hey guys, you got Cringe here. So I haven't had a chance to do any of my football stuff this week. It's Saturday night. It's like 11 p.m. I totally missed the Thursday game. I haven't had a chance to do anything fantasy wise. I'm gonna do my picks for this week's games, straight up and with the spreads real quick. Maybe at the end I'll give some advice on some fantasy guys, but I'm just looking at the matchups right now. So I missed the Thursday game. The Cowboys beat the Giants 20-15. So I think the spread for that game was 5. For me on my card, it was 4.5. I did take Dallas, so I got lucky and won that one. Still can't believe that they're playing the way that they're playing. Micah Parsons got hurt. They got lucky that they held the Giants to 5 field goals. You know, if any of those field goals are touchdowns, they lose that game. So, but I would have picked Dallas, and I would have took Dallas with the spread. Like I said in previous videos, if the spread is 3.5, I do 3. If it's 2.5, I do 2. You know, I always go down the half a point. So, I mean, if the spread is 1, I'm probably just going to do a pick 'em. But we'll start with the first game for tomorrow. So you have the Saints at the Falcons. The Falcons are favored by 3. I think the Falcons win this game, but I think they win by 3. So maybe, I mean, I like New Orleans, but I'm gonna take the Falcons, and I'm gonna say that they cover. The next game up is the Rams at the Bears. The Bears are favored by 3. I'm gonna take the Rams here, so I'm gonna say the Rams win, and obviously they cover if they win. I still think Chicago's got some stuff to learn here. You know, I like the direction that they're going in, but I'm just not sold yet. All right, next up you got the Vikings at the Packers. That should be one of the better games on the week. Sorry guys, I'm a smoker. It sucks, it's stupid. I'm an athlete, I shouldn't be smoking. So all you kids that do chime in and watch, don't ever try it, you know? It's terrible for you. Seriously, trust me. I've just been doing it for so long that it's hard to quit. But like I said, I'm strapped for time this week, so I'm trying to mash everything into this one video. So I'm gonna smoke while I do it. So Vikings at Packers. The Packers are favored by 3. Jordan Love is supposed to play in this game. I think it's going to be a hard matchup. I'm going to say the Vikings win this game. So obviously they cover. But I'm taking the Vikings straight up, and I'm taking the Vikings to cover. The next up is the Steelers at the Colts. The Steelers are actually favored by 2. I'm going to say, until they lose, I'm going to roll Pittsburgh. I'm going to say the Steelers win, and they probably win by 4. So I'm going to take the Steelers both ways. The Steelers win, Steelers cover. Next game up is Broncos at Jets. The Jets are favored by 8. I'm going to say that this is a game where the Jets just go out and smash them. I know Denver's been hanging in there. They did win last week. You know, 8 points is a high spread, but I'm going to say this is one of those games where the Jets just smash them. So I'm going to say Jets win, Jets cover. You got to remember, Rodgers is going to hold that little bit of a grudge against the Broncos for his offensive coordinator, you know, the guy that was the Broncos head coach, and now he's, I think, the Jets offensive coordinator. But Rodgers is going to go out there and he's going to look to light them up just in spite of him to make him feel good. So, next up is Eagles at Buccaneers. The Eagles are favored by 1. I'm going to say this is one of those pick'em games. Over the last couple of years, the Eagles aren't very good against the Buccaneers, so it seems to be like Jalen Hurts' kryptonite. I'm going to say the Eagles win this game and they cover. So I think this is the game where they get them. Next up is Bengals at Panthers. So Andy Dalton gets to face his former team. The Bengals are 0-3, don't forget. The Bengals are favored by 5 here. I'm going to say that the Panthers win this game. Panthers cover. I could see the Bengals winning it, but I think Andy Dalton's going to be out to prove something, and of course he's going to want to do it against his former team, you know? So I'm rolling with Panthers. I think the Panthers get to 2-2 with a big win over the Bengals. Bengals start 0-4, so Panthers win, Panthers cover. Next up is Jaguars at Texans. Trevor Lawrence hasn't looked too hot so far. They're already talking about maybe him getting benched for Mac Jones. I think that's stupid. Trevor is one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and obviously he'll get it going. What most people have to remember is they shorten the preseason, and then since there's so many injuries nowadays, a lot of these guys don't want to get hurt playing preseason ball. So you can look at September as like, it's basically the preseason for all these guys. So even if the Bengals start 0-4, I mean, they could still make the playoffs and finish, 10-7 or something. September's just, it sucks to start 0-4, but we were on Jaguars and Texans. Let's see, the Texans are favored by 5. Houston hasn't really shown me anything so far this year either, but I'm going to say the Texans win, but the Jaguars cover. So I could see it being a 3-point game. Trevor's got to show up. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jaguars actually win this one, but it's in Houston, so I'm going to roll with the Texans, but I think it ends up being a 3-point game, 23-20, 27-24, something like that. So next up is the Commanders at the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are favored by 3. I'm taking the Commanders to win and cover. I like what Washington's doing right now. They look good. Jaden Daniels looks good. So, Patriots at 49ers. The Niners are favored by 10. We know what happened to them last week, man. They lost to a Rams team that's still trying to figure out their damn offense. So, Purdy and Juwan Jennings obviously went off, but I thought that would have been a game where Purdy goes, hey, look, I know we got McCaffrey, and we got Ayuk, and we got Kittle, and we got Bosa, and we got all these guys. All these guys are injured. I'm going to show you what I can do. Everybody sleeps on me. And he did do his thing, but when it came down to when it mattered the most, he lost. Stafford got him. So I'm going to say that the 49ers win this game. I'm not sure who's playing yet, but I'm going to say the 49ers win and they cover. Give me the 10 points. So next up is Browns at Raiders, and the Browns are favored by 2. The Raiders are going to be missing like Devontae Adams, Max Crosby. Like, they're down some guys, but that's usually when a team will show up. And I do like Antonio Pierce. I think he's a good coach. So, and Cleveland is in disarray right now. I don't know what's going on with that team. I'm going to say the Browns win. The Browns cover. 2-point spread. I got a feeling about the Raiders, though. It's the games where you think they'll win that they lose, and then the games that you don't think they're going to win that they'll win. So I'm going to go with the Browns, though. Browns win, Browns cover. Next up is Chiefs at Chargers, and from what I'm hearing, Herbert is going to play. He's got the high ankle sprain. Chiefs are favored by 7. These games are usually pretty good. I'm going to say that the Chiefs win, but the Chargers cover. So far, Kansas City's been in a bunch of close games, so I mean, they're due for a blowout, but the Chargers usually play them pretty tough. They're used to each other, you know. This might be the game of the week. It's Bills at Ravens. So, Ravens are favored by 2. I'm going to say the Bills win, the Bills cover. Ravens start 1-3. Buffalo I didn't know what to make of them before the season started, and all they've done is gone out and smashed people. But have they really played anybody yet? They barely beat the Cardinals. They smashed the Dolphins, but they smashed the Dolphins with Tua. He didn't go out until late in that game. And then they turned around and just fucking destroyed the Jaguars. So I don't know what to make of that team yet. Baltimore is going to be a tough test, but I'm going to take the Bills. I think they beat them. So obviously they cover. 2 Monday night matchups. One of them's my Dolphins. So you got Titans at Dolphins. Word on the street is Snoop is going to start the game for the Dolphins. Dolphins actually are favored by 2. So I'm going to say the Dolphins win this game and they cover. I think Snoop comes out and that offense just turns into something sweet again, you know, because Snoop is built like I always said, if the Dolphins had like Lamar Jackson or like Josh Allen, Cam Newton, some guy with a big arm, they can get the ball to the quick guys deep. They can run, that, you know, knows what he's doing. Like, I think Snoop will fit that mold. He'll be okay. Dolphins win. They get to 2-2. They cover. And the final game of the week is the Seahawks at the Lions. The Lions are favored by 3. Seattle hasn't looked too bad so far. I'm going to say the Lions win, but Seattle covers. I think it'll be like a 24-23 game or like a 21-20 game. So Lions win, Seahawks cover. All right, let's go back and check here. So we'll look at some like fantasy stuff. Like I say in the other videos, obviously certain guys are owned, so I'm not going to go out there and be like, oh, you know, you should start Dak Prescott or you should start Patrick Mahomes. Or I'm going to look at each of these matchups real quick and I'm going to give you like sleeper guys that you might want to play. So New Orleans has a tougher defense. Atlanta has a tougher defense. So I would have to say in this game, you know, maybe this is one of them games where, you know, Derek Carr could have a good game. Rashid Shaheed could have a good game. This could be a game where the Falcons running backs go off. So I'm not really seeing anything hot there. There's not much like fantasy waiver wire wise. Like obviously if you own Kyle Pitts, you're probably going to play him, you know, because that's who you have for a tight end. If you want Alvin Kamara, you're probably going to play him. That's who you got at running back. So Rams, Bears. So the Rams, obviously one of their wide receivers is going to step up. Last week it was the guy that I thought would. Can't remember his fucking name right now. But it's not like he posted a phenomenal stat line, but he was the guy that actually stepped up. The Bears, DeAndre Swift is due for a game. I know the Rams defense isn't what it used to be, so maybe this is the game where DeAndre Swift gets it going. So, Vikings, Packers. Packers are a little bit tougher defensive-wise, but Sam Darnold, that could be a guy to stream. You know, I know they got the Jalen Naylor at wide receiver who hasn't looked too bad so far, but I don't know if Jordan Addison's playing this week. I haven't looked yet. They say Jordan Love's going to play, so obviously those Green Bay wide receivers will be nice. Steelers, Colts, you know, if you're somebody that's streaming quarterbacks, you could do worse than Justin Fields. You know, Pittman. I'm not seeing anything crazy here. Broncos, Jets. I mean, Alan Lazard seems to be a hit or miss. One week he goes off, next week he does nothing. Last week he kind of goes off. So this could be a game where Rodgers goes off. Like if you're streaming quarterbacks and Rodgers is available in your league, I would play Rodgers this week. Same thing with Andy Dalton. Like if you're streaming guys and like it's a couple guys in a pack, I think Andy Dalton's going to have a day against his former team. The Bengals can score too, though. They're going to have Higgins out there. They're going to have Chase out there. But I think Andy Dalton goes off this week. So Eagles, Buccaneers. I started Baker last week over Lamar Jackson, and I paid the price for that. I like Baker. This Eagles defense is different, though. Like once they finally find their groove, they're going to settle in, and they're going to be a tough defense to play. So I would actually say the way that Philly has played the Buccaneers the last couple of years, it's either going to be one of them games where Tampa beats them again. You know, you could see that happening. Or Philly's going to come out and just punch them in the fucking mouth. And maybe that Eagles defense is somebody to stream this week. Panthers, Bengals, I already did them. Texans, Jaguars. I mean, Trevor hasn't looked very good in a little while, so maybe if you have Trevor, you don't want to play him this week. You know, maybe you don't want to play him until he starts doing something. So that's where you can go and pick up guys like Rodgers or Andy Dalton, or, you know, I want to see something out of Trevor before I play him. Houston, I'm still waiting for Tank Dell to do his thing. So Commanders, Cardinals, I'm playing Marvin Harrison Jr. If I have Jaden Daniels, I'm playing him until I see something different. The guy just keeps producing like 30-point games. So Patriots, Niners, I'm not sure who is still not going to play for the Niners side, but Juwan Jennings was probably a huge pickup this week. I was real high on him last week, so I thought I picked him up. I didn't. Now he's gone, so I'm fucked there. If Debo and Ayuk and Kittle and McCaffrey, I know McCaffrey's not playing, but those guys are all playing. Juwan Jennings falls down the line, but I could see this being another week where Jennings has a game, but I think this might be the game that Ayuk comes out. So Patriots side, I'm not playing anybody really over there. If you have Stevenson, you can count on him because he catches the ball too. He had a pretty shitty fucking game last week. I think he had like 0.3 points. I have him, so luckily I didn't start him. Browns and Raiders. I don't know who you fuck with on the Raiders side right now. I'm not sure they're good at quarterback. Jacoby Myers might be a guy. Brock Bowers is one of the top tight ends right now. So, I mean, you could play Bowers. The Browns defense, they might be down Myles Garrett. I'm not sure over there. They're probably getting real close to people wanting Jameis Winston to get in there. So, Chiefs, Chargers. Kareem Hunt is moved up to the roster, I believe. You could take a sleeper on him. I mean, if you got a wide open flex spot, I don't know if he'll get much action in this first game, but then again, that's what people might think is like, oh, you know, Hunt's not going to do anything, and then he goes out and catches like 3 touchdowns. So, I mean, if you really want to do like a hit or miss and just throw somebody in your flex just to see if they do something, you could try Kareem Hunt this week. Chargers, I'm still waiting for somebody over there to break out. So, Bills, Ravens, Shakur, Keon Coleman, James Cook. These guys, Baltimore's side of the ball. I haven't really seen, like, Isaiah Likely had that monster first game, but he really hasn't done much. Mark Andrews, I don't even think had anything last week. Titans, Dolphins. I think Snoop looks good with this offense. I would play your Dolphins guys. Hill, Waddle, Achane. I would play those guys. I'm just not sure about the tight end. Like, one week, Jonnu Smith looks okay, and he gets some catches, and then the next week, he does nothing. So I'm not sure. Tennessee, I still need to see something with them. Seahawks, Lions, Jackson Smith. he looked good. DK, Gino, you could stream Gino. Lions, I'm still waiting for them to do something. Montgomery keeps getting all these like good points. Gibbs is hit or miss. St. Brown is hit or miss. I like Jamison Williams. Thought he was going to have a monster year. I thought Jared Goff was going to have a monster year. Williams had a good game or two so far, but Goff really hasn't done anything yet. So that's a quick run through. Probably really didn't help any there, but I at least wanted to get my picks in. So, like I said, it's late. It's almost 11:30 now, but I'll try to get a couple more videos and get back on track for next week. For those of you that do watch these, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.